the headlines, Supreme Court okays presiding Deputy Speaker to vote on matters in Parliament. Meanwhile, the minority says they are disappointed in the Supreme Court. 2 policemen involved in bullion van attacks killed while leading police to gang hideout. But 4 more police arrested as suspects in bullion van attacks in Accra. And Ghana's inflation accelerates to 15.7%. Welcome to the news in brief on Graphic Online. A deputy speaker who happens to be a member of Parliament does not lose his right to take part in decision-making in Parliament. This is according to the Supreme Court, which consequently says the approval of the 2022 budget on November 30th, 2021, in which Mr. Osei Joe Owusu, the first deputy speaker, counted himself as part of the quorum, was valid.
In a unanimous decision today, a 7-member panel of the Apex Court held that upon a true and proper interpretation of Article 103 and 104 of the 1992 Constitution, a deputy speaker presiding over proceedings in Parliament has the right to vote on matters and also be counted as part of the quorum for decision-making in the House. The court also struck down Order 1093 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, which prevented a presiding deputy speaker from voting as unconstitutional. The court made the decision after dismissing a writ by a law lecturer, Justice Abdullahi, who was challenging the decision of Mr. Osei Owusu to be counted as part of the quorum to pass the budget.
Whenever it seeks to exclude a member presiding, it says so clearly. So you see that for the commencement of business, ordinary business in Parliament, it says with the exception of the person presiding. But such exception is not made in the case of forum for decision making. So when it comes to forum for decision making, the member presiding, if is a member of Parliament, clearly will be included.
But in this case, I think there is actually no one lost because I think the Constitution wins, the people of Ghana win, and this is the best decision that I think we should have had. It puts clarity on the law, despite the fact that some of the reliefs that I was seeking were not obtained. But there's a far-reaching decision that has been made by the Supreme Court today to the extent of striking out portions of the standing orders, and this is very good for all of us.
In a sharp rebuttal to the ruling by the Supreme Court, Minority Leader in Parliament, Mr. Haruna Idrisu, says he and his colleagues are not surprised at the ruling but are disappointed in the Supreme Court. He described the ruling as a judicial support to e-levy bill.
This ruling of the Supreme Court, we are not surprised but utterly disappointed in the Supreme Court of Ghana, which is ready, determined, willing to support a struggling president with an ailing economy. This ruling of the Supreme Court can at best be described as judicial support for e-levy and setting aside time-tested parliamentary democratic practice, where it is known practice everywhere in the world that a person presiding shall have no original nor casting vote.
Now let's return to attention to the matters on crime, and the Ghana Police Service says 2 policemen arrested in connection with the robbery attacks on bullion vans in some parts of Accra have been killed. According to the police, the pair died following an exchange of gunfire with some suspected robbers during a raid on the hideout of the suspects.
The police say the incident happened during an intelligence-led field raid at Botima near Ashaiman. The 2 were said to be leading the police to alleged gun associates. They were pronounced dead on arrival at the police hospital, where they were taken after the exchange of gunfire. Some of the other suspects believed to have sustained gunshot wounds are alleged to have escaped from the scene.
And in a related development, 4 more police arrested in connection with the recent bullion van robberies in Accra. They have been remanded by the Accra Circuit Court. The suspects are Constable Afisu, Yaro Ibrahim, Constable Richard Bwedu, Constable Rabiu Jambedu, Constable Alberto Fosu, and suspect Razak Alassan, a civilian.
Ibrahim and Ofosu have been charged with attempt to commit robbery, while Bwedu, Jamedu, and Al-Hassan have been charged with abetment. Their pleas were not taken by the court as investigation is ongoing. They are to return to court on March 29, 2022.
We end today's news in brief on Ghana's consumer price inflation. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, Ghana's consumer price inflation has risen by 15.7% year-on-year in February from 13.9% in the previous month. This means that between the month of February 2021 and February 2022, the general price level of goods and services has increased by 15.7%. This indicates a 1.8% variation between the year-on-year inflation in the 2 months.
Government statistician Mr. Samuel Kobina Enim tells journalists today that this is the second highest recorded since the rebasing of the CPI and inflation in August 2019. The highest was recorded during the COVID-19 period between the months of March and April 2020, when the variation was 2.8 percentage points. He says there is the need to halt the acceleration of inflation from different perspectives because the drivers varied across the 16 regions of the country.
Clearly, there is the need to arrest inflation from different perspectives. As we have indicated, within the country, we see that the drivers of inflation vary across the regions. So while food inflation is what is dominating in the 5 regions in the northern part of the country, if you come to the southern part of the country, specifically Greater Accra, is both non-food and food items that are driving inflation. So as a country, we should not address inflation from a one-size-fits-all perspective.
News in Brief was brought to you by Graphic News Plus.
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Visit us on graphic.com.gh for further information. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
Thank you for watching today's edition. Stay safe and protect yourself from COVID-19. For more news, visit graphic.com.gh or log on to Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube at Graphic GH. I am William Ashale.
Subscribe now.